Hello again. And this week, Susan and myself are discussing a 2012 movie, I think it is. Um, loosely based on a real life. Well, we'll see, shall we? It's Abraham Lincoln, Vampire Hunter. Um, for some strange reason, I don't believe he was a real vampire hunter in real life, but we will go through this cast and we may discover some new things about Abraham Lincoln. Susan, your opening thoughts then on this movie?
All right. Well, I'm like right now I'm low-key obsessed with the situation that happened with Abraham Lincoln, like right when he got shot at Fort Theater and then the manhunt afterward for John Wilkes Booth. Um, this one though is a Tim Burton movie, sort of. So, or really, so it's got a lot of that sort of Tim Burton flair to it. And it's it's quite lovely. It's actually really it's like a badass superhero movie with like the what was he the 20th president, 12th president, what I can't remember what number he was, but
16.
16th president. Anyway, he was in there, and this tells the story of how he became a vampire hunter, how he became president of the United States, how he went from being a small potatoes guy in Illinois to being sort of like the most important person and trying to win the battle for the to overturn slavery because of a few things. And I just think it's amazing. And I think that there that because it's sort of more British cast, that my friend Lee over there, he's gonna like it too. I think so, because I don't think that he really likes Americans except for me. I think that I'm the only American that he even
Oh,
puts. I'm just kidding. Yeah,
like Columbo.
I think I think because of the American presidency, this was a good movie. And I love the fact that it makes the case for Abraham Lincoln being a a superhero, and that's badass. Anyway, so yeah, those are my opening thoughts. I know that's not much said, but I'd like to hear what Lee has to say
Well,
now.
well, when you suggested doing the movie, I thought, I've never seen it. I've never heard of it. What am I getting myself into here?
Huh?
um, yeah, I mean, there is some of the actors in this I do know. I do know Dominic Cooper from Preacher and things like that, and Anthony Mackie from the MCU.
Uh-huh.
Um, Rufus Sewell, I know as well, been in many movies and TV shows. But the way it's where it's fact and fantasy combined here,
Uh-huh.
because it's with the vampire law, but also, as you say, the sort of telling the story of Abe from a young boy growing up, getting involved into politics, and having those scenes of about the slavery and also the Gettysburg Address. So you had the real history in there, the history lesson in there, mixed, mixed with this totally fantastical of him being a brilliant vampire hunter with his axe,
Uh-huh.
um, being taught how to kill by a vampire.
By a vampire.
Yeah. um, which I thought was quite an interesting, a great idea to mix and match the fantasy and the truth. Some people out there may think it is a documentary, but some people. But yeah, action story's good. It's a fast story. It doesn't slow. Um, visual effects is amazing. I don't know. Was this filmed in 3D?
I think so, probably.
Right. Yeah, because I got the idea, with the swinging of the axe and all like that, and the way it was sort of towards. Um, yeah, I got the feeling it was a 3D movie. Yeah, it was an enjoyable movie, to be honest. So you didn't disappoint, Susan.
No, no,
I just, I just never heard of it before, and that's not like me.
and the guy Timur Bekek Bekmambetov, anyway, he's he did the uh Pride and Prejudice and Zombies.
Oh, so is it? Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, like, there are two movies that he was like, pulling into like reality that were one take a real person, one take that whole story of the Darcys, and
Yeah.
I just think that he's really fun, and of course Tim Burton added that gothic spark to it.
He was a producer on this, wasn't he?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
there was like and I mean there's Dominic Cooper and Anthony Mackie, of course, and then Rufus Sewell, and then there's Martin Sokas, and you've seen him a lot, and then there was the emotional story of Jefferson Jefferson Davis, and how he was kind of roped into you know continuing to allow the vampires to live on the southern lands,
Yeah.
and then of course he becomes one, and then the battle scenes where all these where the Confederates were all vampire. A lot of them were vampires, and they had that ability to disappear and appear, and so that part of the lore was there. Again,
Mm.
vampires showing up in the daylight. There's a
Yeah.
lot of that these days.
Well, also, I did notice you knew straight away who the vampires were with the glasses
Yeah.
in the daytime.
Yep.
You knew straight away. So one of the senators was a vampire.
Yeah.
Uh,
Jeb Nolan. Yeah, exactly. Precisely.
yeah. So it wasn't hard to understand, figure out who was who. Um, but for me though, two of the action scenes for me stand out really well. The horse chase scene,
Gosh, yes. With the
amazing.
stampede.
The stampede scene, yeah, really well done. And then the train scene,
Oh my gosh.
just all out action.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, that was just on the edge of your seat viewing.
That was the Spider-Man thing.
Yeah,
Am I right?
Hmm, yeah, but it's just the train, the out of control train, the the crossing on fire, the bridge on fire, and
Oh my God.
amazing. And then
Yeah.
say fighting on the train, on top of the train, in the train, all these vampires all over it.
Yep. 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 It was
Yeah,
great.
great shot. Those two scenes, the stampede and the train scene, for me, were the highlight of this movie.
I know. Those were awesome.
Yeah, and the effects, the vampire effects as well, was amazing.
And they the lore about the silver and how they
Uh-huh.
gathered all the silver and they turned all the swords, the bullets, the
Mhm.
guns, the bayonets on the bayonet extensions on the guns, all of that stuff for the Union Army, like all of that silver that they added to their weaponry. Yeah, that's where all the silver went.
But is that
Right?
true?
I don't, you know,
Did that really happen? No.
you know,
No.
it was so exciting. It was so good. Yeah, and the Gettysburg Address and the fact that this was after that battle and they had won the day and yet then the Dominic Cooper character, oh, what's his name again? Harry Sturgis comes back, or Henry Sturgis comes back, and he's like, yeah, this is the way it's got to be.
Mhm.
Yeah,
I mean, I've never the lead actor in this.
I'm gonna
Ben,
pause.
yes, the lead actor in this, Benjamin Walker. I've never heard of him before. Is he well known over there?
Yeah, he's done a few things. I mean, he's not super well known, but he's been busy uh all the way up. He was in the recent Lord of the Rings series.
Ah, right, yeah.
Someday we should do that one. But the other thing that he's done is he's done he was part of he also did the Underground Railroad, and which is funny because they reference that with Harriet Tubman's character in this one a lot, and so that's fun. You know, it's fun when you see somebody linking things together, and then he he was in Jessica Jones. Yeah, he did a lot of quite a few different things, and but yeah, he's only done like 10 things, 12 things since he did this.
Ah,
But
right.
this is fairly recent. I mean, like what was this? Uh 2012,
12, I think it was.
yeah. So it's not that
Um,
old.
I'm assuming he must have had prosthetics on to make him look like Lincoln, or maybe he does look like Lincoln. I don't know.
Um
But every time he was on screen, the look of him in this movie, I kept seeing Liam Neeson.
huh.
His facial features, I thought,
Oh,
wait, Liam Neeson.
nice. That's not a bad
No,
person to
it's not.
confuse him with, right?
Uh, well, so I'm thinking now, has he got prosthetics on, or he does literally look like that? I don't know, but
I think it was pretty much the way he looked. I mean, yeah. I just remembering Jessica Jones, and yeah, he's pretty much looks this way. I mean, they did do a lot with the hair and the facial hair eventually, giving him a beard and stuff. But the earlier stuff, yeah, I don't know. It's like yeah, and the other thing that was really great was how they included the story of Will Johnson, because and uh, they didn't necessarily talk about uh, his vice president, Johnson Jackson. Anyway, so yeah, so that was they made some decisions about who to include and who not to really,
yeah.
sort of focus on. That was really interesting. Also,
Hmm. I mean, did Lincoln lose a son?
yeah, he did.
Right. See, I don't know the ins and outs, the historical facts.
No, of course not. And you wouldn't and of course, but the interesting thing was that you know with with Henry there, he could have saved him that way, but
Mm.
you know, Abe wanted his son to not have any sort of suffering or whatever. So that's why he
Yeah.
let him go. I mean, I think he had like hemophilia or something.
Ah, right.
There
So,
was a Go ahead.
so the sort of brought the haemophilia thing with the sort of blood and
Uh-huh.
put it with the vampire story, and yeah, it's interesting. It is an interesting and strange movie.
Yeah.
Um, but I enjoyed watching it. So it was it was a bit one of those a bit out there.
Yeah.
But anything with vampires in it, you're onto a winner, aren't you?
Yeah. Well, I mean, in this one's got I mean, the only lore breaker that this one and we reviewed Being Human earlier
Yeah.
this podcast weekend, and the similarity of the lore in that these vampires are able to walk in the sunshine. Um, although that one you still had to be invited in to come in. And this
Yeah.
one they just sort of stroll wherever the hell they want to go, you know?
Yeah, they do actually. Yeah.
They just
Yeah.
they give no fucks about where they are, you know?
Also, as well, is there something in a vampire law that they're not allowed to cross water?
Running water. Yeah, that I heard that too. Unless they had like they were in their coffin
Yeah.
on the earth, like if they could separate the water from themselves by their own earth, they could
Yeah.
do that.
They didn't do that in this movie though.
That's how they sailed the sea, right?
Yeah. Because
Mm.
there was in rainboats, weren't they, on the water, and
Yeah.
so they forgot about that law.
There was a lot of lore breaker. I guess in terms of like vampires, these guys all these guys just
Did what they wanted to do.
cracking it, throwing it away, burning it, you know, trying to build a bridge with it and burning it. It was yeah, it was there wasn't they didn't hold much to the lore, but they did like the
Hmm.
silver bits. That was like I said earlier, that was really fun.
You see, I always thought Silver was werewolves, but
I own I see your point there. There's another good point. Oh my
yeah.
God.
I mean, I don't know. You know more about vampires than I do.
But then there was the cross thing,
Mm.
and then there was like why who had the cross? Was it Jack Bartz was like worried that, you know, one of the people that maybe it was Speed or somebody that had a Star of David on. One of the people was a Jew,
Yeah,
and they were like, why is this not working? And they're like, oh, it's about belief.
about faith.
It's about faith.
Yeah.
All right.
So,
Anyway, lots of lore
um,
breaking. Naughty,
any any more moments
naughty
what stand out?
movie. What's
Yeah.
that?
Any more moments what do stand out for you in this?
Oh, I liked yeah, I liked um every time I think of this movie, I just think of that scene where he's making his axe, he's sharpening it, and then he puts the silver on it, and then he
Yeah.
practices with it. He gets really good, and then he does like he goes out with what's his name, Henry Sturgis, and Sturgis says, well, if you're really angry, why don't you cut down that tree with one blow?
Mm.
And
I
he's like,
mean,
I don't
it
know, I don't,
took a while, that didn't it?
and he hits it once, and it's like, oh, and then he hits it twice, and he's like, you don't hate it enough. And then like he hits it the third time, and because he's put the face of Bart's on there, and suddenly it just blows apart.
Mm. I mean that training was just like Jedi training. It was
Yeah.
the way putting him through his paces.
Yeah, it really was. It was a good training montage.
Yeah. Um,
That's one of those things that these superhero stories have, right? Is they have to have a training montage.
yeah. I blame Rocky.
I do too.
Anything else we want to say about Abe Lincoln, Vampire Hunter?
Um, uh,
Apparently, it was based
no.
on. Apparently, it was based on a novel.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna maybe keep an eye out for the novel.
Yeah, I haven't read the book, but I have heard that yeah, I guess I heard that it was. But yeah, um I'm really glad that they made this because you know, especially with what we had as a president 3 years ago. I mean, it's nice to find out it's nice to imagine that you had a really cool president one time.
Uh,
Like that's like one of the superheroes of the pre-industrial revolution times in Abraham Lincoln. Because I mean, the man was killed in a theater from a gunshot, and somebody saying six Emperor Tyrannus, always killing tyranny. And I mean, the hell with that.
yeah,
I mean, the tyranny wasn't it was not the way that guy thought. Booth was just a nut. Anyway, this is fun, and
it's a
Lincoln
fun
is
film.
good.
Mm.
Yeah,
So, final sense score?
yeah. All right. I'll give this 10 bayonets covered with silver out of 10, and I just think that you know, I think that it was cool that Mary Lincoln, Mary Todd, uh, really had the gumption to stick with him, even though he was a vampire hunter. She had the gumption to stick with him as he became president and stuck with him all the way through the Civil War. She was great, and I just think that was fun too.
First Lady.
Yeah. And back over to you, Lee. What's your final say
Um,
score?
I enjoyed it. It's a shame I don't know much about the historical facts and stuff more than I should do.
You don't have to.
Oh yeah, yeah, but then that then I could say, oh yeah, that's not true, and I know where that's coming from, but I don't know much facts about Lincoln. Um, but I do know he's a vampire hunter,
Huh?
and that's not all that counts.
That's all that
Um,
counts.
yeah, I'm going to give it nine musket balls in the eyeball out of 10. Um, it's an enjoyable movie.
That
For
was
me, the action
ridiculous.
scenes stand out more for me.
Uh-huh.
Um, so yeah, and it's a fun movie. You guys, have you seen it? Have you seen Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter? Because this is the first time I have. I would recommend it.
Hmm.
So please leave a comment below on the video, wherever you found this video, on Facebook or X or YouTube. Messages or pretending you're a little mouse. Well, so you pretending you was a little mouse then?
I'm typing.
Oh, right. Mouse. Yeah. Also, if you want to join us, do the same. Pretend you're a little mouse and start typing. And leave a message on the video wherever you found the video. Please, I would like to be part of these video casts. I do have a camera and I do have a microphone on the device I use, and I am over 18 because some of the stuff we review is 18 rated, so that needs to be in there.
Yeah, this
Also,
one was rated R.
yeah, and also when you subscribe to our YouTube channel, press the bell notification button and you'll get notified every time we put a video up. So that is our review of Abe Lincoln Vampire Hunter. Let's hope we get some messages after this one. I'm going to now go away and I'm going to do some axe training.
Wow.
I was going to say swing my chopper, but that's a bit of a euphemism, I think, innuendo. Um, I think we should leave it there, don't you?
I think so.
Yes.